Every supercar you've ever seen, the Ferrari, the McLaren, the Lamborghini, owes its entire existence to one car built in secret by a team of engineers who weren't even supposed to be building it. This is the story of the car that invented the... This is the story of the Lamborghini Miura. In the early 1960s, Ferruccio Lamborghini wasn't a sports car legend. He was a wealthy Italian industrialist who built tractors. He'd made his fortune manufacturing farm equipment after World War II, and by the 1960s, he decided to try something new, building grand touring cars to compete with Enzo Ferrari, a man he reportedly clashed with personally. But Lamborghini's early cars, the 350 GT, the 400 GT, were comfortable, refined, front-engined machines, nothing like what was coming next. In 1965, a small group of young Lamborghini engineers, Gianpaolo Della Paolo Stanzani and test driver Bob Wallace, decided to build something radical after hours, largely without direct approval from management. Their idea: put the engine behind the driver in the middle of the car, just like the race cars dominating Formula One and Le Mans at the time. No road car had ever done this for a production Grand Tour. It was considered impractical, even reckless for everyday driving. When Ferruccio Lamborghini saw what they built, he didn't shut it down, he backed it. At the 1965 Turin Motor Show, Lamborghini displayed nothing but the bare rolling chassis with no bodywork at all. It was a gamble. Yet the automotive world was stunned. Journalists and rivals alike immediately understood this chassis alone was more advanced than anything else on the show floor. With the chassis finished, Lamborghini turned to the design house Bertoni to build a body worthy of it. A young designer named Marcello Gandini, only in his 20s at the time, sketched a shape that had never been seen on a road car. Low, wide, impossibly sleek, with a wraparound windshield and eyelash-like trims over the headlights. It looked like nothing else on the road because nothing like it had ever existed. The finished car debuted at the Geneva Motor Show in March 1966, and it caused a sensation. Crowds pressed against the stand. Orders came in from customers who hadn't even driven it. This was the Lamborghini Miura, named after a famous breed of Spanish fighting bulls, continuing Ferruccio's tradition of naming his cars after bulls, since he himself was born under the astrological sign of Taurus. What made the Miura revolutionary wasn't just its looks, it was engineering. Lamborghini mounted a 4-liter V1.2 engine transversely, sideways, directly behind the two seats, sharing its casing with the transmission. This mid-engine layout gave the car near-perfect weight balance and handling that felt closer to a race car than anything sold to the public before it. The Miura P400 produced around 350 horsepower and could reach a top speed of roughly 170 miles per hour, making it, at the time of release, the fastest production road car in the world. 0 to 60 came in under 7 seconds, extraordinary for 1966. Suddenly, the tractor company had built the fastest car on Earth. The Miura's fame exploded further in 1969. When it opened, they filmed The Italian Job. The movie's opening sequence follows an orange Miura winding through the Italian Alps to a hauntingly beautiful soundtrack before an abrupt, fateful end. That single scene introduced millions of people to the idea that a car could be a cinematic icon in its own right. The Miura quickly became the ultimate status symbol among the world's most famous people. Frank Sinatra owned one. Jazz legend Miles Davis owned one. Even the Shah of Iran had one custom built for himself. Owning a Miura wasn't just about owning a fast car. It was a declaration that you were part of an entirely new era of automotive glamour. So why is the Miura specifically credited as the first true supercar, rather than earlier fast cars from Ferrari or Maserati? It comes down to a combination no car had achieved before. A mid-engine layout borrowed directly from racing, a top speed record, radical low-slung styling unlike anything on the road, and a level of desirability that made it a cultural phenomenon rather than just a fast machine. Every one of those elements became the template that defined the word supercar itself. Every mid-engine Lamborghini that followed, the Diablo, the Murcielago, all the way to today's Revelto exists because the Miura proved the formula worked, and it wasn't just Lamborghini. Ferrari, McLaren, and countless others eventually adopted the mid-engine supercar layout the Miura pioneered. An entire category of automobile traces its DNA back to a project a few engineers built without permission after hours in a factory that used to make tractors. Today, surviving Miura sell at auction for well over $1 million, and collectors consider the SV among the most coveted classic cars in the world. But its real legacy isn't measured in auction prices. It's measured in every supercar built since 1966 that put the engine behind the driver's seat chasing the same idea through. Rebellious engineers had one night in secret, The Lamborghini Miura wasn't just a fast car. It was a rebellion that became a revolution, and it's the reason the word supercar exists at all. If you want to see more stories like this, subscribe and let me know in the comments which car's history you want told next.